Hello, I'm Bartling, and I certainly hope that you and yours are going to have the opportunity to have a brighter summer day. Well, yes, it continues. The older I am, the more that I think. And I was thinking of kind of a little bit of in my Googling a white paper they come across. A particular word applies to me and applies to you. Personality. Have you thought of your personality? You know, maybe you had siblings and you're an introvert, and yet another sibling is an extrovert. You had the same parents and somewhat the same environment, and yet you're different there. The study went on to say that in the development of our personality, which to some extent can change just a little bit, but not much. In fact, they talked about some of these self-help books and programs that it really has just a small application, really. You see, they contended that within our personality, mine and yours, there are basically two factors. One of them is your environment. Other people will use the word nature. And the other is your genetics, your heredity. Now, in looking at those two, they used the contention and applied the contention in their study that 60% of your personality does come from your heredity, your genetics. As one person said, at our birth in the crib, we are tattooed by the beliefs of our tribe. So not only do we inherit our genetics, our hair color, our height, our color of our skin, but also being raised in that tribe, let's call it, then we have certain beliefs and so forth. Uh, I take myself as kind of a good example there. Okay, being born in Panama, raised by American parents, military American parents, and before the age of 4, left Panama. And so then the nurturing, the environment that I was in very much then come to play in my personality. Can you imagine 4 years old and living in Germany with a housemaid slash nanny speaking to me in German? What did I speak? I spoke German. And being in that regimented military type of a family and being in that nomad culture, meaning every 2 or 3 years we up and moved. That environment had an effect on me and my personality. But they say that 60% of your personality is from your genetics. You see, you kind of carry around some luggage, two pieces of luggage maybe. This one, let's call it your genetics. And this is your environment. And some things will go in and some things will go out. But your genetics, that piece of luggage that you carry around with you all the time, kind of stays the same. But that good old environment, the environment that you're in, the environment you were raised at. Let me share with you a couple of things here that I found interesting there. Is that a good quote here. you can't live in the past, but you can try to understand your past. And in those formative years, the environment will play a big part. Even though it's not a big a piece of luggage, it's going to play an important part. And within that luggage, then you're going to have your parents and the way that they then raise you. Okay, you're going to have your social group. Again, my social group changed all around. It wasn't until I was living in the state of Illinois that I come to be socializing with another Latino, Pedro. And then after Pedro, which would have been probably about the age of 6, then it was 2 little girls in Georgia that were Latina. And after that, it was a big, big dry spell before I socialized with any Latino. It was only in high school that we had a teacher, Riza Blake, and Mrs. Blake was from Panama. That's quite a dry spell, not to be with some of the people, the heritage that is in your genetic suitcase. So I was very fortunate to find my family later. But indeed, in those formative years, environment can play a big part. So let me share with you a couple things that I found, again, interesting with the kids in America, such as myself, raised in America during the 50s and 60s there. We survived mothers who drank and smoked. They took aspirin and canned tuna, and they didn't get tested for diabetes. They put us to bed in cribs that the paint was lead-based.
Did you eat a lot of paint chips when you were a kid? Why?
And they put us on our stomachs when we slept there. There were no child-proof lids on our medicine. We drank water out of a water hose. We rode bicycles with no helmets. As children, we rode in the car, and maybe we laid flat in the back by the rear window. Or we sat up front with our parents, maybe with no seatbelts. And on a warm day like today, we would ride in a pickup in the back and let the wind blow through our hair, much like a puppy dog. But yet, we survived. That was quite an environment. Now, we had no choice as we was growing up, just like I had no choice of speaking English. It was in our environment. But you know what? I grew up in the land of opportunity. Just like today, you have that opportunity to enjoy a brighter summer day. Even if it's raining, you have the opportunity for you personally to make it sunnier, to make it brighter. So, yes, we're ready to get on board, and we're always going to be carrying our luggage, our genetics, black hair, left-handed, uses hands to talk. All of that, just part of genetics. And believe me, it's there. Every time I go to Panama and I'm with my my relatives, that we have the same blood, I can pick up on the genetics that makes me the personality that I am. But I don't want to forget that every day, this piece of luggage is coming into play for me and for you, your environment. And that, folks, I can then have some interaction with. So, I want you to hang in there. I'm rooting for you. You know I am, because we're in this together. And let us not forget those personalities out there that chose to do what they do with their combination of their genetics and their environment. Of course, I'm speaking of Blessed are they who ease the pain of misfortune, for they shall be called insurance agents. You go forth and have yourself a brighter summer day. Take care.